Okay, welcome to Long Beach, Rộng, not to be confused with Long Beach, California. This is about a 7-mile long beach and is considered the best beach on the island. And it's kind of secluded again, believe it or not. There's resorts down here, and then there's a resort where I'm staying for the day. I got a day pass at this place called the Royal Sands. More about that later. So I just got here very early to make the most of it, so I have a full day here, and I'm just going to go for a walk along this beautiful, beautiful beach. The sand is kind of about the most perfect sand you could imagine. It kind of like squeaks under your feet as you're walking. It's so fine and so soft and fluffy. It's just beautiful. And I'm actually staying around that piece of land sticking out there, around the other side. So I'm actually really, really close, probably about a mile, if that. But the only way to get here is to go inland on the road and then come back around back to the resort. And it took about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So it's kind of interesting. It's really close, yet it's not. Which is nice because, again, it makes it more private and secluded. And as you can see, it's about 9 a.m. right now, and there's nobody on the beach. I've got this massive, massive beach to myself. So unless you're staying down at that end of the, there's like a little village down there, which I'm going to go to another day, and that's more of a public beach. You either go to a place like that and go to the public beach, or you just come to one of these areas, but this is meant to be private. Although the beach is public, but obviously the resort is private. And the place that I'm staying at, so I'm paying for a day pass, and it's $99, which on the face of it seems pricey, but you get a $40 credit towards your food, and I'm sure that the food's going to be very good. I already had breakfast. It was excellent. You get a $40 credit towards food, and you get a half-hour massage, which probably is worth, I don't know, $20 or more. So that really comes out to maybe $30 or $40. And you can spend the entire day here. You've got the beautiful pool, infinity pool. You've got the gorgeous private beach with sunbeds. You've got the nice bar right there on the beach. You've got access to all those facilities as if you're actually a guest at the hotel. But rather than spending, I don't know, $300, $400 a night, I'm sure it's very, very fancy. It's got to be very expensive because you get like a bungalow with a private pool. Instead of doing that, you just come for the day and fantasize that you're actually staying there while enjoying all the facilities. So that's the budget way of doing it for me. I'm on a budget. I can't be paying that much per night. It would be insane. So I'm paying something like $40 a night, staying in a very modest bungalow, still on the beach and still perfectly comfortable, with excellent air conditioning and a wonderful shower that works and lovely staff and nice and clean, but pretty non-luxury compared to where I am today. But there you go. More than one way of skinning a cat, as they say. So here's the issue with all beaches in Southeast Asia, not just here. I also experienced this in Bali and in Vietnam and Thailand. It's just, there's this trash. So not where I am, because that's all very exclusive and they clean it up, but all of this trash gets washed up on the beach, and there's bottles, there's a lot of plastic. Presumably it gets washed in by the ocean, or maybe it's just left by idiot tourists, I don't know. But it's like, it's just really frustrating when you see this fantastic natural beauty, this pristine beach that is, you know, scarred by trash. And it's, some places it's really bad, other places it's not so bad, other places you don't see it at all, as I said, in the fancy resorts. But it's like ever present, and it's not as bad as Bali, I have to say. Bali was ridiculous, but it's still a real problem. And I think that these countries, to encourage tourism, really need to do something about it, and I'm sure they are trying to do something about it. I know they are in Bali. They were supposedly contracting with a Chinese company to recycle all of the plastic waste. It's really not too bad here, but yeah, you see bottles here and there, just like plastic crates just sitting there. And I don't know, I mean, if they could just get crews down here to pick it all up every week or whatever, maybe they do, and that's really doesn't make a difference. Maybe the trash just accumulates and it's kind of a losing battle, I don't know. But it's a shame. That said, it's still absolutely gorgeous, and that's just something that you have to sort of turn a blind eye to and just accept that that's part of being here. The water is crystal clear. It's lovely and warm. And yeah, this is a really long beach, hence the name, Long Beach. It just goes on forever. That must be, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles away down there, that little village. And as I said, I'll be visiting that at some point during the week. And it goes all the way back there. So I think it's about 7 miles in total. And as far as I can tell, it's possible to walk the entire length of that beach, which obviously I'm not about to do. But I thought I would have a little stroll and take a video. So my intention is to spend all day here and be here for the sunset, because this is supposedly the best place to see the sunset on Rộng. So the sunset's in about 9 hours or so. So I'm going to have a very long day here, and I'll be between the pool and the ocean. Spend a bit of time on both, a little bit of beach, a little bit of pool. Then I'll have a nice lunch, I'm sure. And then I have my massage scheduled for 4 p.m. in the spa. And that takes maybe half an hour. And I've never actually had a massage before. I don't think I have. I don't remember ever having one before. So that's going to be a new experience. And then after the massage, I'll come back to the beach and get some footage of the sunset, which I'm sure is going to be really spectacular. The resort itself is spread over many acres. In fact, when I arrived, I went through a security gate, and then I had to wait for somebody to come and pick me up in a golf cart. And then I got taken to reception, paid my paid my fee for the day pass, and then back on the golf cart, and I was taken to the place for breakfast, which was a good way away, and then back on the golf cart again to the pool area. So most of these, pretty much every accommodation in this resort is a bungalow with a private pool. So, you know, the idea is that you come here and you just stay away from civilization completely if you want, including other guests. You just hang out at your own private pool. So as a result, I have a feeling that I'm going to have this beautiful pool to myself. Or mostly to myself. I don't know, we shall see. It doesn't really matter. I'm not totally antisocial. I'm very happy to have a chat with somebody. But the exclusivity and solitude of a place like this is really quite something, and well worth it. And gives you an insight into how the other half lives. So I am that other half occasionally, just by being here and, you know, having the luxury of being able to travel and come to places like this. But I'm certainly not about to be spending the kind of money you have to spend to stay in a fancy resort like this. But there you go. When I had breakfast this morning, I just had a coffee and a Danish, and there were only 2 other guests there. I have a feeling that the place is not full, anywhere near, because I know that tourism is really down, unfortunately, in Cambodia, because of probably a lot of it has to do with what's going on in Iran right now. People are just very nervous about flying anywhere, so spending money on travel. And I'm sure airfares have gone up. But also, of course, Cambodia had the skirmish with Thailand last year on the border, with, you know, missiles being exchanged. It was a long time ago and it's over now, but I think it scared a lot of people off. And I know in Siem Reap, where I was, tourism was down pretty significantly there. It's a shame because it's perfectly safe, you know. I mean, it's like, go to Cambodia, but, you know, don't be stupid and go to the border of Thailand, because there's a minuscule risk of getting involved in some kind of skirmish. But even that's over now. That was over last summer. But there is still this residual effect of tourism being down, which an island like this completely relies on. So it's a shame. Even the tuk-tuk drivers, you know, they're basically living a hand-to-mouth existence. And when gas prices, petrol prices go up, it really, really hurts them. And some of them can barely afford to put gas in their tuk-tuk. So, yeah. It's one of the kind of contradictions about coming here. It's breathtakingly beautiful, but you are always aware that you are extremely privileged as a Westerner to be here. Even a Westerner on a pretty modest budget like I am, you're still kind of the very fact that you can get on a plane and travel and come to somewhere like this makes you extraordinarily privileged compared to the local people. And it's exactly like that in Thailand and Vietnam and Malaysia and the Philippines. Which makes the amazing kindness and generosity of spirit and brilliant service that you get 99% of the time, certainly here in Cambodia and in Vietnam too, all the more amazing. there is just this innate friendliness and kindness and happiness with the local population that is really quite something, and just makes the whole experience here really wonderful, and makes you think about how different it is in the West, with people complaining about the smallest little thing. I'm not saying all people are like that in the West, but we are kind of a little entitled and privileged, to say the least. And that is really brought home when you come to a place like this. Alright, so I'm coming back to the resort now. I'll show you the pool area. As you can see, still nobody around. Got the place to myself. They have little snorkeling and kayaking trips, waterboarding, paddleboard, not waterboard. That's being tortured, isn't it? Paddleboards. You can rent those from here too. I may do that another day. I mean, I'm so impressed with this place, I may well come back, maybe on Friday for my last full day with a bike anyway. I've also got Saturday, but I don't have my bike then. So I don't know, maybe I'll come back here, we'll see. But if I do, I think I would like to go snorkeling or paddleboarding. I've never done that before. Oh, they also have kayaking, by the way, where you can go through the mangroves. So you can go down like rivers and go through these beautiful mangrove forests. So maybe I'll do that, we'll see. Alright, back up to the pool area. I don't know if you can hear the sand squeaking as I walk. Very unusual. So if you want to hang out by the beach, obviously you've got the lovely lounges here. As is typical of this part of the world, they're really into their Instagram moments. So they've got a swing set up there in the water where you can sit on the swing and have your photograph taken. With the Royal Sands logo there too. Okay, making my way back to the pool now. Here's the little bar area. Still very early, so it's not open yet. But I can get a ubiquitous Angkor beer or something else. Nice little area here to hang out with your friends, if you have any. This is the restaurant, not where I had breakfast. This is where I'll have lunch. There's another restaurant which is open for breakfast and dinner only. But this is where I'll have lunch, which is going to be convenient because it's right here. It's just some of the recreational activities that they offer. And then this is the pool. It's infinity pool. Yep, and nobody else is sitting out here. So this is my own private pool. Look at the size of it. And then the ocean's right here, so at some point I'm going to go down onto the beach. Alright, love to everybody, talk soon.